Hi everyone, I'm Jennifer Cotney, Assistant Director of Christian Mix, and I'm here with my two favorite St. Michael Special School students, Kalijah and Evan, to find out from their perspective, what's it like to be a St. Michael student? Kalijah, I'd like to start with you. So I'm going to turn the camera just a little bit, and Evan will come back to you in just a moment.
Okay.
So Kalijah, as a St. Michael student who is graduating this year,
I am.
and you're going on to an adult program next year, would you share with us your experience at St. Michael from starting in lower school to this moment right now?
It's been a long journey, I'm going to say. But I definitely found, a lot of good friends in my life, I dealt with some hardships before, and I will say COVID was hard, but after a while, I think from 2023 and onward, I feel like that was when things started to truly got better for me, deep down.
That's awesome. What do you think it is about St. Michael's Special School that helped you to become the successful student that you are and to set you up for an independent adult life?
Well, I did try to, show people, how you should behave a little bit. I was student council co-president one year during the 2022-23 school year, which was my fourth year in upper school at the time. And it was really fun, though, I'm not going to lie.
What's your favorite part about being at St. Michael?
Well, I do like, doing the Christmas play every year. I do like playing in, some of the sport tournaments, like the basketball tournament and field day. I like to do those things. I also enjoyed, film class a lot this year.
Yeah? That's a good thing to talk about. Do you think that St. Michael had noticed some of the things that you're interested in and helped to nurture your talent, especially when it came to learning more about film and theater?
I was starting to write down scripts, movie scripts and whatnot, and they actually people noticed that. Some of the people were like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm writing movie scripts and drawing pictures of my characters."
And what do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to start a franchise, similar to how Sonic is a popular franchise or Pokemon. I want to have my own.
A franchise, like a restaurant, or
a series.
A series, on TV or movies and stuff.
Yeah.
And that includes toys and things like that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, that's awesome. And what would you like to do while you're busy creating your series and you're working towards that ultimate goal? What kind of job would you like to do in the meantime, just to kind of make ends meet?
I'm not really sure yet. I haven't really thought that far ahead yet, but I am going to get there, though. I still got some time to figure that out a little bit,
Is there anything that you have learned through the exploration at St. Michael, taking culinary classes and art classes and theater classes? Is there anything that you think that might be of interest to you career-wise that you've learned from those experiences?
I actually had a lot of fun with cooking, though, because it is important to cook to stay alive, of course. But I also had a lot of fun, though, because I will say, some of my favorite things I made, I made at home. One of them was, the Denver omelet that I made. Mm-hmm. And I had made, the Idaho twice-baked potatoes.
Yeah, favorite of mine. Actually, I like the Denver omelet. The Kalijah omelet is what we call it. Yeah, I like that, too.
I done it in a biscuit, and I called it that.
All right. Well, is there anything that you would like to add about being a St. Michael student that you think the audience needs to hear?
Well, I think it's a great place, because I will say, compared to other places, you don't ever have to worry about anything. You don't have to worry about like bullies or people taking things from you or people judging you because you're different.
Have you made a lot of friends?
I have, actually. I really have over the years.
Lifelong friends?
I have.
Does St. Michael, does it make you feel safe?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah?
Because I don't have to ever worry about anything bad happening to me, and if I was ever in a scary situation, I can always tell Miss Laurel, the school principal, and Miss Kelly, the counselor, if I was ever in a scary situation. Mm-hmm. And I was able to help other people when they were in scary situations, because I was able to be a good leader and give good advice to among my peers of what to do and hardships, how to handle bad friendships or what to do if someone's making them feel uncomfortable.
Or what to do if maybe you're having some difficult feelings.
Sometimes I have had difficult feelings, and I had to go to Miss Kelly for that.
Yes, Miss Kelly is our counselor. And I'm so glad that you brought that up because it is officially May. And we started this series to bring awareness to St. Michael's Special School because of April being Autism Awareness Month.
True.
But May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And so I've already talked to the school counselor, and we're going to get together a little bit later this month, and I'm going to interview Miss Kelly so we can talk about some ways that a special needs family can practice positive mental health and some of the resources that are available out there outside of this unique community that you as a parent can go to if you need some support as far as mental health is concerned as well. Well, Kalijah, thank you so much for letting me interview you today. I'm very excited that you're my son. I'm very proud of this one. I am doing this one a little bit differently, and I will share our personal testimony, but I want to brag on this one right here. I'm proud of both of you. But Kalijah was nonverbal until the age of 6, and it was, hard. It was hard to wait.
It really was.
And he had a vocabulary of about 35 words. Most of them were brand names like Ford or Chevy, because he was really into trucks because he's all boy.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I really wanted to hear from my son, especially my oldest, my firstborn, was, I love you. And the language that he was using at the time, he would say, Lulu. And I knew what it meant.
Oh, yeah.
I knew that that's what he meant. And I took it because, I was just glad that he understood. And the way I describe it is God unlocked his brain. So the words were in there.
Yeah, it was.
And we could tell that you were ready to communicate, but you were just struggling to figure out how to get that tongue to work. It's like it was locked up in there. And
it had to take time.
It did. And one day, just before your 6th birthday, you walked into the kitchen and I was making one of your favorite dinners. And I guess you smelled the smells and you were super excited, and you stopped in the doorway and waited for my undivided attention. And when I turned and gave it to you, what did you say?
I love you.
Very plainly. Very clearly. And it's funny because those are 3 small words.
Yeah, sure is.
They're very small words. But I think they're 3 of the most powerful words in any language.
It is.
And I did not realize until you said it how badly I needed to hear it. And I'm so grateful that God made me wait. I'm grateful for that moment because literally it was a switch. A switch flipped in his brain, and he went from nonverbal to speaking in full sentences within days. His birthday is over the Christmas holidays, so when he went back to school, he was speaking in paragraphs. He was still whispering. He hadn't found his volume level yet, but he was truly talking and articulating how he felt. And it's like all those words that were holed up forever just came out. And I'm so grateful for what God has done. Kalijah is now 22 years old.
Yeah.
The adult program that he's going into next year is a job training program, a career-oriented program that will help him find a passion while he's waiting on his dream to come true. And of course, we're dreamers, so we never stop dreaming and we never stop working towards our dreams. But
that is true.
We also know that if we want to be independent adults, we have to be out there and have a job and have an income and work towards that goal of living on our own and saving for our own house.
Yep.
He has big dreams for having his own house, and he wants to travel and, and all the things that all of us want. Yeah. And what I love about St. Michael is that it's possible. It's not impossible. So Kalijah, thank you so much for talking with me today. I'm going to shift the camera over to Evan. This is Evan.
Hi.
Evan is 19 years old, and he's also an upper school student at St. Michael's Special School. Evan has a couple of different diagnoses. He actually has a visual impairment. He was born with a condition called horizontal nystagmus. And long story short, he's had multiple surgeries. He's had double strabismus surgery several times. And we're very, very grateful to our doctor here in New Orleans who has been able to stabilize his vision. He's actually doing really, really well. And for a child who didn't even begin to learn to read until the age of 14 years old, he was the supporting role. He played the supporting role in last year's spring musical. He is a leader in his school. They are always calling on him to step up. We call him our charmer because you are just so charming.
Well, Kalijah is too.
Yes, Kalijah is very charming. Kalijah is a leader as well. But I love the way that you make everyone feel welcome. You are such a good friend. Both of you are.
I just do my best. That's all I really do.
Of course. So now that we've explained a little bit about you, why don't you tell us what you think about being a St. Michael student?
Well, I think it's about doing your best, and that I try to show people that doing your best is really all that matters, even if you may have did mistakes, but basically I also try to help especially some of my closest friends like Wills and Jimmy. That's all I really know how to do is just do my best, and even my teachers are impressed with that.
Evan is eager to please, and he has a willing heart, and that's very, very rare to find in the world today of anybody, but especially somebody that has to try a little harder and take a couple more times to master something that others would perceive as a small thing. So, what I want to know, you talked about your friends. Do you think that St. Michael has been a good place for you to make lifelong friends?
Yeah, definitely.
Really? What makes you think that?
Well, just, I guess it's, how do I say, sorry about that.
It's okay.
Let's see, I just think that it was, well, when it came to making friends, I know that's something teachers want, because I know that teachers also, like the teachers there also wants us to support one another, which is something that I've definitely knew for a long time, and to get along with one another.
That's right. You're very good at that. You're also really good at making new students feel welcome and helping people feel more confident to try, even if they might have a wrong answer, but to try to participate in class. What do you think is the reason why you are so welcoming to other students? Is it because you remember being a new student, or is it because well, I'll let you answer.
Well, it's because my friends welcomed me, and they were the ones that were helping me get used to them. Like when I started upper school, I had a couple of friends that were literally in there for a couple of years, and some of them were even graduating, and they were the ones that helped me. They were the ones that kind of guided me through some of the stuff that I didn't know before, but they showed me.
I was going to ask you if you were afraid when you first started at St. Michael, because it was a big change, wasn't it, coming from the other school?
Yeah, I was, but then, as I got used to it, I started to get a bit more confidence and whatnot.
And it shows. I think it helped a lot that you had a big brother who was there a little bit ahead of you.
Yeah, no, I did wanted to go there at the same time as him, but I know we couldn't. But it's okay.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because one of the reasons why you had to delay is because of our financial situation. St. Michael Special School is a private school, and that brings me to the reason why we're doing these interviews right now. This is the end of the school year, and it is also the annual giving campaign when St. Michael is trying to raise funds in order to help offset expenses for tuition for next year, so that we can keep the same level of excellence and quality that the students have come to expect and thrive on, as well as provide help to families like mine, because I'm not the only parent that has multiple students in the school. So it is an expense. It took us a while. We had to save up to be able to get Evan in. And even though we do take advantage of the scholarship programs that are available, the expense that's left over every month makes it very, very difficult when we talk about inflation and we talk about all the things that are going on in the world and in our economy. So what we were hoping to do is not just raise awareness about this amazing school, but we were hoping that you guys would be led to give. And if you are led to give, you can follow the link that's in the description to give directly to St. Michael's Special School. You're not giving to Christian Mix, you're giving directly to them. And even if it's only a $5 donation, every dollar helps. It really, truly helps. It helps students like Evan and Kalijah and families just like mine, but also it gives them the ability to do more for our students without putting that burden onto us. So that was one of the reasons why Evan had to wait, was because we had struggled with navigating the tuition and getting into the programs, the scholarship programs that are available and everything else. And that's another thing that we are really, really grateful for St. Michael, is that they were able to walk us through the process and help us with anything that we were lacking on. So I just want to say thank you to St. Michael and to the leadership that's over there. Now, Evan, as an upper school student, one of the things that you are heavily involved in is student council. Can you explain to me how that's helped you become a stronger leader and more confident?
Well, basically, I know this year I was actually chosen to be because my homeroom teacher, I'm homeroom rep this year, and Mr. Tim, my homeroom teacher, chose me because he had confidence in me.
Absolutely.
And I guess he knew that I would do my best to make him and my homeroom basically be proud, and that's what I do.
He does. He's a very good leader. On your confidence level, has it helped you become more confident?
In a way, yes.
Is that because you have to get up in front of the class and you have to, like hold the morning meetings, or you might have to speak at Mass or one of the other events?
Well, definitely every morning before we go to our classes, I do get up and do the morning meetings a little bit. Like, we basically do if anybody's absent, we wish you well, and then those who may have been absent but are back today, we welcome back. And then we also do breathing. Our favorite one is balloon breathing, where we basically breathe in like this, and then we pop our balloon.
I like that one.
Yeah.
I might need to start doing that in the mornings. Yeah. Instead of coffee, I might need to do...
Oh, yeah. Coffee's all right, too.
That's a good exercise. All right, well, boys, I want to thank you both so much as we get Kalijah back in the frame. Okay. I want to thank you both so much for being bold and courageous and for taking the time to tell me about what you love about being a St. Michael student.
She's doing her best.
Of course, and you both do a great job at that. But before we go today, I really want to know, Kalijah, what is your favorite class?
I would say the last 2 years, I would say film production. It was hard because I really enjoyed a lot of the classes I'd done, but I think that was the one that really kind of stuck out to me the most because I was following my career in a lot of ways. I mean, I have an iPad at home, and people were amazed of how much my editing skills have improved.
Yes, you are extremely talented, and I'm humbled and honored that you have followed in your mom's footsteps in so many ways without me ever even trying. That's just proof of God. I tell them all the time that God wrote his name on their hearts when they were born.
True.
And I can completely and utterly see how God has set you both up for a wonderful future. And I knew you were going to say film production. And just a little disclosure, film production is a new class, a new offering. And like he said, it's been the past 2 years. And I know for a fact that it was partially inspired by you.
It was.
And your activities at home. and your interests. And I'm just so grateful that the teachers saw that talent in you and not only encouraged it, but nurtured it. I always say nurture the talent, because that's exactly what they do. As parents, my husband and I, we only have so much ability to be able to pour into you, because the world has a little bit of influence and our peers have a little bit of influence. And sometimes what other people have to say just kind of outweighs what mom and dad have to say. So to have that reinforcement of seeing your talent and your desire to learn more and to put yourself into this industry on your own and learn all about it and become better at this craft is just a testament to what God is going to do in your life. And I'm so very proud of you.
Oh, yeah.
All right, what is your favorite class, Mr. Man, at St. Michael Special School, and why?
Well, I really don't know, but I can definitely say that I do like cooking, but I also like doing, my other favorite class was definitely social studies. I knew in my first year in upper school, I know we definitely had world history, and I really liked it, because you get to learn the history with other countries, and I really liked it. I enjoyed it, and it also kind of, I guess in a way, it kind of helped me get a little smarter, I guess.
It sure did. And I want to brag on this one for a minute. So this guy was born with a visual impairment, and he's had multiple surgeries and really did not start beginning to read until the age of 14. Evan, would you like to tell the audience what you do for fun? What you do for fun at home on your own outside of school? What you have taught yourself?
Taught myself Japanese, if that's available. I definitely like to play my video games, and
Let's talk about this Japanese, because he's not just learning how to speak Japanese, he's learning how to read and write Japanese on his own, no prompting. There's nobody over there giving him assignments or anything like that. This is an interest that he is pursuing just because he's passionate about learning this language and learning more about that culture. So that's incredible. And I have noticed how some of your teachers have picked up on your love of all things Japanese, right? And they have been able to incorporate some of that into some of the lessons, haven't they?
I think so, yeah. I've noticed that a little bit, and I've noticed how I've been causing the school to grow a little bit, I think.
You think you've been causing the school to grow a little bit?
I think so.
Yeah, there are other children who are interested in learning Japanese, and a couple weeks ago, was it you were writing the months? Was it the months of the year?
No, it was actually last week I ended up writing the days of the week.
The days of the week in Japanese.
Except it was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I didn't write Saturday or Sunday yet.
That's right. Oh, that's awesome, though, that you did it. And from what I heard, the teacher looked it up, and it was right. Google Translate.
That was Miss Caitlin.
Yes, that was Miss Caitlin. Miss Caitlin has been a huge supporter and encourager to both of my boys, as her mom, Miss Marsha, is too. Evan, what would you say to other special needs people just like you? I can't say children because they're both technically adults. So what would you say to other special needs people out there who are watching you right now?
Well, I'll tell them to do their best, take their time to find what they like, and keep going.
That's awesome. Never give up trying, right?
Right.
Exactly.
I hate to borrow from a movie, but we just keep swimming. That's what we do, because we know that God's mercy is new every single day, don't we?
Yes.
And I think our family is proof of Romans 8:28, the fact that God will turn all things around for the good of those who are called according to his purpose. And I know now, I didn't know then, that God was going to get a whole lot of glory for the work that he's doing in my boys.
Sure.
And that made it worth it. You know, that really made the hardships and the struggle worth it, because, you know, as a family, having multiple special needs children in one home, is definitely different. You know, there's sometimes there's a little bit more chaos in our house, and sometimes it takes us a little extra practice for our routines, especially when we start something new.
Yeah.
And but I've watched you both, as your mom, of course, excel. And I see you continuing to progress, and I see you guys just thriving, and I am beyond moved by what God is doing in your lives. I'm so proud of you both, and I'm truly honored that I get to be your mom. When we pray every single morning and every night, I always thank God for choosing me to be their mom, because they're such a gift, and they have completely changed the whole focus of my life. And I have learned that being a mom is probably the most important job that I've ever had, but being their mom has been the best thing that could have ever possibly happened to me. So if you are a special needs parent, especially if you have young ones, I know it's scary. I know it's chaotic. I know that the world out there is not designed to be nice to you. But you know what? God is good, and His mercy endures forever. And I hope that my boys and my family can be a testament for you and give you hope that God really does have a plan. He has a hope and a future for you and for your children. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. I hope that you stay tuned. We're going to continue this series over the summer and maybe even into next school year, because I actually have a whole bunch of other parents who really, really wanted to come and interview. So I'm going to set more of those up. And again, because May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and Christian Mix is going to be involved in some ways that we can stay focused on positive mental health, so that we can all stay strong and healthy, so we can be good leaders for our families, right?
Yeah.
And in ministry. But Miss Kelly, the counselor at St. Michael Special School, she is going to meet with me, and we're going to talk about some mental health for families just like ours. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and thank you for supporting Christian Mix, and thank you especially for supporting St. Michael's Special School. Have a great day.